Heroes, Chapter 2. I saw Nicole Reynard for the first time in the 7th grade at St Jude's parochial school during arithmetic. Sister Mathilde was standing at the blackboard, illustrating a problem in decimals, when the piece of chalk in her hands broke and fell to the floor. I leapt to my feet to retrieve the chalk. We were always eager to keep in the good graces of the nuns, who could be ruthless with punishments, using the ruler like a weapon, and ruthless too with marks on our report cards. As I knelt on the floor, the door opened, and Mother Margaret, the Sister Superior, swept into the classroom, followed by the most beautiful girl I had ever seen. "This is Nicole Reynard. She is a new student here, all the way from Albany, New York." Nicole Reynard was small and slender, with shining black hair that fell to her shoulders. The pale purity of her face reminded me of the statue of St Therese in the niche next to Father Balthazar's confessional in St Jude's Church. As she looked modestly down at the floor, our eyes met, and a flash of recognition passed between us, as if we had known each other before. Something else flashed in her eyes too, a hint of mischief, as if she were telling me we were going to have good times together. Then the flash was gone, and she was St Therese once more, and I knelt there, like a knight at her feet. Her sword having touched my shoulder, I silently pledged her my love and loyalty forever. St Mathilde directed her to a vacant seat in the second row nearest the window. She settled herself in place and didn't give me another glance for the rest of the day. After that first meeting of our eyes, Nicole Reynard ignored me, although I was always aware of her presence in the classroom or the corridor or the schoolyard. I found it hard to glance at her, both hoping and fearing she'd return my glance and leave me blushing and wordless. She never did. Was the look that passed between us that first day a wish of my imagination? Luckily, she became friendly with Marie LaCroix, who lived above us on the 3rd floor of our house on 5th Street. The girls often walked home from school together. Nicole lived one street over, on 6th, and I trailed after them, happy to be following in Nicole's footsteps. They giggled and laughed, their schoolbooks pressed against their chests, and I hoped that one of Nicole's books would fall to the ground so that I could rush forward and pick it up. Once in a while Nicole visited Marie on the 3rd floor, and I lurked on the piazza below, trying to listen to their conversations, hoping to hear my name. I heard only the murmur of their voices and occasional bursts of laughter. Standing at the banister, in an agony of love and longing, like a sentry on lonely guard duty, I waited for Nicole to come down the stairs so that I could get a glimpse of her and perhaps catch her attention. She'd come into view, and my mouth would instantly dry up, and I would look away, and afraid that my voice would emerge as a humiliating squeak if I tried to say hello. A moment later I'd hear her footsteps fading away, and I'd plunge into an agony of regret, vowing to talk to her the next time. Often, in the evening, when families gathered on the piazzas, the men drinking beer they had brewed in big crocks in the dirt-floored cellars, and the women mending socks and knitting as they chatted, I'd seek out Marie and try to get her to mention Nicole Reynard. Although we were separated by that chasm of being 12 years old, when boys and girls merely acknowledged each other's existence, Marie and I spoke to each other once in a while because we lived in the same 3-decker. Sitting on the steps, we'd talk about everything and nothing. She liked to tell jokes. She'd imitate Sister Mathilde, who had trouble with her digestion, and tried to disguise her burps behind her hand, and sometimes rushed out of the classroom, slamming the door behind her. "She lets off her farts in the corridor," Marie maintained, doing a quick imitation of those corridor farts. Baseball was a big topic with us. Monument has always been a baseball town, and French town teams, made up of players from the shops, often won the city championship in the Twilight Industrial League. Marie's older brother, Vincent, was an all-star shortstop for the French town Tigers, and my father, whose nickname was Lefty, had been an all-star catcher for the same team years before. I kept wondering how to bring Nicole Reynard into the conversation. She had no brothers and sisters about whom I could inquire. I didn't know whether she liked to read or who her favourite movie stars might be. Finally, I plunged. We'd fallen into a comfortable silence, listening to the men arguing mildly about the Red Sox, and I said, "Nicole Reynard seems very nice," feeling the colour creeping into my cheeks. Marie turned and fixed her eyes on me. "Yes?" she said. I said nothing more. Marie didn't speak either. My father's voice reached us with his old refrain, how selling Babe Ruth to the Yankees had brought a curse upon the team. "Do you like her?" she asked finally. My breath came fast. "Who?" An exasperated sigh escaped her. "Nicole! Nicole Reynard!" "I don't know," I said, cheeks incinerating now. I didn't know what to do with my hands. "Then why did you ask about her?" "I don't know," I said again, feeling stupid and trapped, knowing I'd fallen into Marie LaCroix's clutches and that she'd probably blackmail me forever. Finally, I threw myself on her mercy. "Yes," I said, I like her." Astonished at the relief I felt at this admission, I wanted to shout from the rooftops, "I love her with all my heart." "Please don't tell her," I pleaded. "Your secret is safe with me," Marie said. But was it? Yet deep within me was the knowledge that I wanted her to tell Nicole Reynard that I loved her. 3 days later, Marie and Nicole again passed time together on the piazza above me. I sat reading The Sun Also Rises, realizing that Ernest Hemingway seldom used big 3-syllable words, which made me wonder if anyone, including me, could become a writer. When I heard Nicole making noises of departure, her footsteps crossing the floor as she called, "Bye-bye," to Marie, I closed the book and perched on the banister, positioning myself where it would be impossible for her to ignore my presence. Hearing her footsteps on the stairs, I curled my legs around the rungs of the banister. She came into view. I didn't look away this time. "Don't fall off, Francis," she said, as she passed quickly by and went down the stairs. I was so startled by her voice, by the fact that she had actually spoken to me, that I almost did fall off the banister. Regaining my balance, I realized that she had actually spoken my name. "Don't fall off, Francis." My name had been on her lips. Then I winced in an agony of embarrassment. Why hadn't I answered her? Does she now think I'm stupid, unable to have a conversation? Had she merely been teasing me? Or had she been really afraid that I might fall off the banister? The questions left me dazed with wonder. I never knew that love could be so agonizing. Finally, the big question. Had Marie told Nicole that I liked her? Oh, I never learned the answers to those questions. Marie and I never talked about Nicole again. She was always coming and going in a hurry, and I was too timid to try to corner her. Summer vacation started and everyone fell into different routines. Nicole didn't visit our three-decker anymore. I caught sight of her sometimes on 3rd Street, going in or coming out of a store, and my breath caught. I saw her strolling the convent grounds with Sister Mathilde one hot summer afternoon. One evening, as I hung out in front of Laurier's drugstore with Joey LeBlanc and some other kids, I saw her walking across the street, her white dress a blur in the darkening evening. She looked our way and waved. I waved back, thrilled at her attention. Joey also waved, calling out, "Hey, Nicole! You gotta run in your stocking!" laughing at what he thought was a witty remark. He couldn't see her stockings at that distance, of course. Nicole paused, tilting her head as if puzzled. Joey burst into more laughter, and Nicole walked on, quickening her step. "You've got a big mouth," I told Joey, turning away in disgust. "What's the matter with you?" he asked. I didn't answer. I wondered whether she'd been waving at Joey LeBlanc or me.